Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Feels really good to say that, seeing that it's been a couple days. I actually made the conscious decision to take what I call a social media detoxification, which I'll get into in a second. The last time I recorded one of these daily Move Swiftly thoughts was about a week ago, before I took a trip to Trinidad. And all throughout the trip, when I was leading up to the day of the trip, I was contemplating back and forth whether I should continue with the daily Move Swiftly thoughts or if I should give it a rest for a few days and then come back, hit it fresh. And it wasn't actually until I got there that morning. I got there, our flight landed early in the morning, and I saw my mother. My mother was like, look, well, no, it was the next morning once I got some rest after my jet lag and all that. My mother looked and said, look, you on vacation. Come on, man, you're on vacation. Let it go. Give yourself some time to breathe. Give yourself some time to get some fresh perspective. And that I did, all right? 5 days of just pure bliss, 5 days of this phone being turned off, not even looking at it, and just gathering material after material, gathering new insight after new insight and new perspective after new perspective. So there's a lot of ground I have to cover in regards to the past 5 days, and it'll come out whether it's in these Move Swiftly thoughts, whether it's in Wintrepreneur Wednesdays, whether it's in the weekly articles I write, or whether it's in the full-blown 30-minute plus podcast episodes that I do, solo episodes that I do. It's all going to come out because there was a lot of ground to cover, and a lot of things that I have stored inside here that I'm going to need to be getting out in some way, shape, form, or fashion. All right. So in regards to today, though, today's Move Swiftly thought, it's about the power and the importance of taking what I call a social media detoxification. For those of you who do not know what that means getting off of it, removing it. Don't even put your phone in a place in which you can see it. Don't even be tempted to look at it. So what I did, actually, when I let what my mother said kind of sink in, I just went to my phone, hit the off button, and it was off for about 3 or 4 days. And there was a lot of stuff that went down, a lot of connections, a lot of things that I just had the opportunity to just sit back and take it all in. Take in the beautiful, beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago. What's the need, where I can fit in, where the work I do will be so very important in regards to just doing somebody who gives a shit, right? Somebody who cares about the island, someone who wants to see the island in a better place than when he's seen it last. All right, there's so much ground I have to cover. But again, like I said, today we're talking about the power of social media detoxifications. And usually I do this when I go on my cruises. And the important thing, the main thing to take away, and it'll be a quick Move Swiftly thought today. Main thing to take away when you decide to do a detoxification is that you really put your antennas up. All right. So one of the things that I picked up on this weekend was, I had the opportunity to really see as a 35-year-old man where my mother and father came from, and there have been times growing up where, you feel some level of resentment, you start to want to do better. You have the natural feelings of wanting to figure out why your parents make this decision and why they make that decision. And in many ways, people can go their entire lives and not really let go of some of the hardships that they may have caused, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally. Regardless of that, everything, I loved them before the trip, but I now appreciate and respect them on a whole nother level, seeing what they came from, seeing that as I'm adulting and figuring out life and looking for significant other and figuring out the vision and where I want to take my family and the type of family that I want to have, the vision that they had to have in order to get out, and the learning how to depend on yourself and become very self-sufficient. Those are the things that you're able to take away. And, just for a quick story, it was actually when I went for a family reunion, and I got asked to do the emceeing, the speaking. Again, I do it every day. It was nothing new to me, and I'll have more on this in a later date. But I didn't have, when we got to the resort in Toco, Trinidad, that's where the reunion was, they didn't have any irons, and I had packed everything in one suitcase like I always do. I don't like checking bags. So I had figured when they said resort, hey, you know, they're going to have ironing boards at the resort and all that kind of stuff. And although they did actually end up finding an iron, and, you know, we ended up ironing it on the bed. They didn't have boards, but they had an iron, and I got my stuff ironed and everything worked out. Before, if they didn't have an iron, I would be fine, because what actually happened was my mother decided to take the clothes that I was going to wear for the actual event in which I was speaking and just put them under the mattress, so they kind of flatten out and they look at it as we were doing that, getting the clothes under the mattress and all that. She goes, "Look, boy, I know how to survive. I know how to survive," right? And, you know, those are things that social media can't capture, and it's important that, again, you take a rest off of it, so you can see everything that the people who love you, the people who care about you, the people who want to see you successful, the people that are going to ride with you regardless, you could see what they're all about. And that ultimately gives you more confidence as you go about your daily endeavors and figuring out life in itself. So that's it for now. Like I said, I have a whole lot more ground to cover. I got politics to cover. There's football coming back. There's a lot of stuff that I've kind of been missing out in action on, but don't worry, I'm back. We're here, ready to roll. All right. All that being said, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, it's makeyourmove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.